Hi everyone, I'm Dan Palomino from Keller Williams Realty Maui, Big Island, and the Hawaii team. Well, today I'm going to give you the 3 things that you need to know before you think about selling here in Hawaii. Real important. If you own a home here and you're thinking about selling, make sure you know these 3 things. It's unique to selling in this state. The first one is taxes, taxes, taxes. There's no shortage of taxes and fees to be paid when you sell your house here. So make sure you know about all of them. Obviously, you're gonna finish paying your property taxes, whatever's left for the remaining portion of the year, that'll be prorated. The next is a conveyance tax, or it's a sales tax. And it differs by county across the state of Hawaii, but they take a percentage of your purchase price and they charge you sales tax. Now in Hawaii County, it can vary depending on whether it's a primary or whether the person buying your home is a secondary. Believe it or not, they charge you, the seller, more conveyance tax, more sales tax if you're selling your home to somebody who is using it as a secondary residence and not a primary residence. Not good news. I'm sorry. The third tax is called a HARPTA tax. And a HARPTA tax is a capital gains tax, and it's a tax that's specifically levied against people who are not residents of the state of Hawaii. So if you live in Maryland and you have a second home here in Hawaii, you're going to be subject to the HARPTA tax. Now the HARPTA tax is 7.25% on the purchase price. And you're like, whoa, Dan, that's a huge number. Okay, take a deep breath. It's 7.25% on the purchase price that they collect at the time of closing, but you're going to get a portion of that back when you file with the state. And what you're going to file with the state is a form along with documentation showing what your cost basis was in the house. So let's do the math. You bought the house for $2 million, you sold it for $3 million, you have another, say, $300,000 in expenses that are tax deductible in the house. And so you're in it for a total of $2.3 million. Okay, so now there's a gain to you of $700,000. That's what you're going to pay the HARPTA tax on, the $700,000. It'll be 7.25% on $700,000. The problem with this is that's not how the state works. What the state does is they collect the entire 7.25% on the $3 million at the time of closing, and then you have to go back to them and get a refund after you filled out the form and sent in all the documentation. And yes, does it take time? 3 to 6 months for you to get that money back. The other tax that you have to be aware of is the fourth tax, which is called FIRPTA, or a foreign investment tax. So if you are not a citizen of the United States, you're going to pay a 15% tax on the sale of that house. And there's no way around that. So unless there's some way that you're exempt, but it's really just boils down to if you're a citizen of the United States, and if you're not, then you are going to pay a foreign investment tax. So those are the 4 big taxes that you got to think about when selling. The next thing you got to know about is we're an escrow state. An escrow state is different than a table funding state. So like in Colorado, where I worked for many, many years, a table funding state would mean the buyer and the seller meet at a closing table on the day of closing, all the documents get signed, money gets traded, and keys get exchanged. That's a table funding state. Escrow states don't work like that. What happens in an escrow state is Mr. Buyer signs wherever he lives, Mr. Seller signs wherever they live. They FedEx those documents into the title company. Once the title company receives those documents, then the next day everybody sends in their money, the lender, right, the buyer, right, everyone sends in their money to the title company, and then the title company waits 2 business days, which is what's required in the state, before they can record it and, quote, close the property. There's never a meeting between the buyer and seller. There's never an exchange of keys. How you get keys is usually through your real estate agent, but there's no place where you all meet on the same day at the same time to close like you're used to. So you're saying to yourself, well, that seems like a lot of work and it's time consuming. Well, it is. It is a lot of work and it is time consuming. And so if your day of closing is, say, on the 18th of the month, you're probably going to start the process of closing a full 7 days ahead of that, like on the 11th. People will sign their documents on the 11th. Those will get back into the title company 2 days later on the 13th. Funding will be on the 14th. The 18th is on a Monday, so you can see how the days work, right? So don't be surprised if you're starting to sign documents and send in money well ahead of what was the actual closing date, and that's an escrow state. The last one, everything can be done remotely. So if you're thinking about selling your property, don't worry. Chris and I and our team, we can handle it. You don't need to be here for anything. We can do everything for you remotely. You can sign all the documents on your email and on your phone from DocuSign. If you have personal effects in your house, don't worry, Chris and I can package them up and we can get one of our movers here on the island to get them shipped back to you wherever you are, no matter how much it is or how big the items are. But most people sell their places here with almost everything included except a few personal effects. But don't worry, we'll package everything up and get it shipped back to you. You don't have to worry about returning the cable box, right? We'll handle that for you. Everything can be done remotely. We'll exchange the keys, we'll get your personal items, you can sign documents, you can move money via wire. You don't have to be here for us to sell your home. We're a white glove service, concierge level. Check us out and try us here at the Hawaii Team. And if you need to sell, contact us at 808-913-0899, 808-913-0899, or thehawaiiteam.com. Aloha.